From a young age, many of us dream of success. We see magazine covers celebrating those who carve their own path to fortune and fame. These stories inspire us, but there's another side to ambition. When the hunger for success comes at any cost, the outcome can be disastrous. Meet Charlie Javice, the 33-year-old entrepreneur facing over 100 years behind bars for defrauding JP Morgan Chase, with a scam so bold, taking the bank for over $170 million.
In the court case between JP Morgan Chase and fintech startup Frank.
Charlie Javice has been found guilty at a fraud trial.
Accused of, quote, falsely and dramatically inflating the number of customers that the company had.
Frank had 4.25 million customers, not the $300,000 it actually had.
From being on the Forbes 30 Under 30 to wearing an ankle monitor while awaiting a trial, this is the story of Charlie Javice.
There aren't many good actors in the space, and we just wanted to stand for something that was honest and where people can really feel as if they have someone who's got their back.
Unthinkable.
Her story starts in the wealthy Westchester County suburb of New York. Raised in a Jewish household by a life coach mother and a father who worked at a hedge fund. She attended a French-American private school where her aspirations for entrepreneurship began. On a trip to Thailand, Charlie noticed firsthand how people in developing countries struggled without access to credit.
While startup was first most widely used in reference to tech companies, it now describes all types of young companies and organizations.
She envisioned a platform that could provide small, secure, low-interest loans to underprivileged communities. This was when she launched her first non-profit, PoverUp.
Hi, I'm Charlie Javice, and I'm the founder of PoverUp and currently a sophomore here at Penn.
The organization functioned as an online platform for social good, channeling small contributions from students into microloans to fight poverty at the click of a mouse. After high school, Charlie went on to study finance and law at Wharton. When she quickly gained attention, even earning her a feature in Inc. magazine, which placed the startup as one of the most innovative college businesses at the time.
In 2011, my organization PoverUp was named one of Inc. magazine's coolest college startups in the US.
All the buzz around the name eventually caught the attention of the Peter Thiel Foundation, which was offering $100,000 grants to students willing to drop out of college and pursue their entrepreneurial ambitions.
We were offering 20 young people $100,000 to work on a project of their choosing. The conditions were that they couldn't be in school, you're going to be self-educated, you're going to drive your future forward, and we're going to give you the resources to do so.
Although Charlie eventually chose to remain in school, withdrawing from the program, the publicity she gained from this decision far outweighed the misfunding opportunity. After graduating, Javice began searching for new gaps in the market worth tackling, and after some time came across a major inefficiency in the US education system, the free application for federal student aid. Every year, this program distributes over $250 billion in financial aid to around 13 million students, yet the process of applying is notoriously complicated. As a result, billions of dollars in aid go unclaimed each year.
Hi, I'm Charlie Javice. I'm the founder and CEO of Frank. Our company helps students pay for college.
Seeing an opportunity to simplify this, Charlie designed a solution that reduced the process to just a few minutes. A platform allowed students to simply upload a photo of their tax returns, after which the system automatically handled the calculations, eliminated math errors, and presented the results in plain, simple language. What once took hours could now be complete in under 5 minutes.
We just wanted to stand for something that was honest, that was transparent, and where people can really feel as if they have someone who's got their back.
The idea became the foundation of a new venture, Frank. As Charlie put it, the name symbolized honesty and transparency. Armed with a growing reputation and connections, she had little trouble securing funding for the project. Within only a few years, Frank had positioned itself as a promising player in the finance space. Frank had raised more than $20 million in funding and accumulated over 300,000 users. On paper, the company looked like a massive success, a project most entrepreneurs would be proud of. But Charlie did not stop there, doing interviews, podcasts, TV shows, and even appearing in the list of Forbes 30 Under 30. She loved the fame and fortune that came with being a successful entrepreneur. But contentment is often a slippery slope when one is on the rapid rise to the top. She wanted more and was going to stop at nothing to achieve it. When word spread about Frank's growing user base, investors began circling. Charlie's eyes lit up at the possibilities. This was a shot at a life-changing payday. If less than 1 million users could already attract strong offers, what might 4 million bring? The answer? $175 million. The price JP Morgan was willing to pay, along with a prestigious role for Charlie to help integrate Frank into their systems. The bank, eager to expand its presence in the growing field of student financial products, saw Frank as both a way to capture more market share and a chance to bring new talent on board. The only problem? Frank did not have 4 million users because Charlie was lying. A fake it till you make it attitude was present in meetings with JP Morgan officials, and in those meetings, Javice went all in. She pitched Frank as, in her words, an acquisition machine, boasting that the company had gained over 4.5 million users in just 4 years. She also claimed that Frank knew more about their student than any other lender, college, or employer. The pitch worked. Only after a few meetings, JP Morgan agreed to acquire Frank for $175 million, an incredible payout for Charlie. But before the deal could be finalized, there was one last step: due diligence. Charlie thought she could easily skip past this hurdle. She denied JP Morgan's request for the list of users, citing privacy and security concerns. But the bank insisted that the deal could not move forward unless they provided the data. And so she devised a plan. She stood at a dangerous crossroads: reveal the truth and watch a $175 million dream slip away, or lie and hope she could pull off the biggest bluff of her life. The pressure was mounting. Another potential buyer had already walked away after seeing Frank's real numbers. If JP Morgan discovered the same thing, everything could collapse. Fear of losing a golden opportunity pushed Charlie to make a fateful choice. She would falsify the data. That's when her chief growth officer Olivia Amar entered the picture. Amar first approached Frank's lead engineer, asking him to create the fake accounts. But he immediately sensed something was off. Suspicious, he questioned the legality of the request. Javice brushed it off, reassuring him no one will end up in an orange jumpsuit. The engineer, however, was not convinced, so he refused. She contacted a New York professor. Together they devised an algorithm that generated over 4 million fake accounts. Each one was built to look convincing. After weeks of tinkering, the fraudulent list was ready. Holding their breath, they sent it to JP Morgan, and incredibly, the banking giant accepted it. To seal the deal, Javice quietly paid the professor $18,000 for his work. But while the payday was almost in reach, one problem remained. The lies were stacked high. If anyone started digging too deep, the entire scheme could collapse, and so began the final step: covering their tracks. Charlie knew the risk of leaving evidence behind. Within minutes of a third party finishing the review, she ordered the destruction of the fake customer list. At the same time, Amar spent another $100,000 to buy a separate database of 4.5 million students, a backup plan just in case his scheme fell apart. Once the deal closed, the rewards came quickly. Javice walked away with $10 million in direct compensation, plus the promise of a $20 million retention bonus as a managing director at JP Morgan. Amar was promoted to executive director, pocketing $5 million for his efforts. Flush with victory, Charlie went to social media to brag. It's not every day that an entrepreneur gets a fairy tale new beginning. But this was no fairy tale. The illusion of success unraveled almost as quickly as it began. Just months later, JP Morgan started integrating Frank into their systems. They wanted to utilize their massive customer base, starting with email campaigns. When they sent advertisements to 400,000 supposed Frank customers, the truth surfaced immediately. Only 20% of emails were even delivered. Of those, a mere 1% were opened. This raised eyebrows. Something was not right at all. Digging deeper, JP Morgan investigators uncovered the shocking paper trail. Email exchanges with a New York professor who had fabricated the accounts. The bank was furious. Both Javice and Amar were suspended from their new roles. By December 2022, JP Morgan filed formal charges against the both of them. And yet, Charlie did not back down. In a bold move, she countersued, claiming a termination was unjust. But as the court later pointed out, so was building an empire on lies. Because when you dig into Charlie's past, a different picture emerges. and it's not a flattering one. Her spotless image was nothing more than a carefully built illusion, because the signs were there, stretching back to her college years. Taking her very first venture, PowerUp, the so-called micro-lending platform for developing countries. Despite her bold claims of customers and partnerships, no records of the company exists. In interviews, Charlie told Wharton magazine in 2013 that PowerUp had raised $300,000 from friends and family. According to a former board member, the platform never distributed a single loan. And then there's the famous Peter Thiel Fellowship, the scholarship she claimed to have turned down. According to Michael Gibson, the man who oversaw the program, that story was pure fiction. She never was offered any fellowship. The reason she was rejected from the program in the first place was because she presented her venture as if it were fully operating, when in reality, there was nothing there at all.
It was like, who do you turn to for financial advice? They all named some crazy uncle or some older cousin, and we're like, perfect, Frank sounds the same, it means honest, you could picture this like crazy guy that you turn to for your finances, and like, it totally works.
And this was the attitude she operated on, because in 2017, when she eventually got Frank running, the Department of Education sent a cease and desist letter saying that Frank's branding might mislead students into thinking that it was linked to the government's official website. The company quickly updated its marketing to make it clear there was no such connection. But behind the scenes, the company was just as unstable as her earlier attempts. The early days were a disaster. The startup ran out of money, employees went unpaid, and promised equity bonuses never arrived. The fallout led to a lawsuit. Still, none of this slowed Charlie down. She was a master of marketing, able to bend the story to her will. When she spoke about those early struggles, she left out the lawsuit and reframed the layoffs as the hardest time of her life. But by the time Frank fully launched, the exaggerations were spiraling out of control. When confronted, Charlie brushed it off. Listen, she told him. These old people don't get it. This is how it works. You fake it till you make it. The evidence, however, was overwhelming. In April 2023, she was found guilty on 4 accounts, including conspiracy, bank fraud, and wire fraud charges that are each punishable by up to 30 years in prison. CEO Jamie Dimon publicly called the Frank acquisition a huge mistake, calling it shocking that Charlie thought she could fake the figures, pocket the payout, and expect the bank to never look any closer.
But now, a judge has sentenced this startup founder turned fraudster to 7 years in prison after being convicted of duping a major investment bank out of a staggering $175 million.
What was once painted as a $175 million success story had collapsed into one of the most high-profile fraud cases unfolding in real time. At just 31 years old, Charlie Javice had come within reach of more than $45 million, but a deception that fueled her rise ultimately ensured her fall.